Hi Gemini, this is Heather with Twin Flame Blu-ray Tarot, and this is your monthly reading for April of 2022. I'm just deciding which card deck to use for you. Okay, I think we're switching it all up from last month with my different tarot decks. I hope you can hear me better. I have a microphone from my cord is flopping around here, but it's my earbud microphone. I've had this all along and didn't realize. So I hope that you can hear me okay. And sorry for some delay in getting these out. They should be up by sometime on the 1st. But I'm not sure about the last part of the zodiac signs. We'll see what I can get done today. It's my one day off since my craziness with my new job started. Back out in the 3D world for a little bit. Let me know if any of the Divine Feminines or if anyone else is experiencing a switch in jobs. There's a lot of Lightworkers that have experienced, we thought we were going to be in these full-time healing gigs for the rest of our lives permanently, and I still do all my healing work, but since I've made a big move and things are shifting, I am back out in a service job, so to speak, and yeah, it's been a little different. So things feel a little wonky, as I explained to, I think, both of the other signs so far. There's been kind of a blip with the Divine Masculines, and they're getting, a lot of them are having their major awakening. So it's almost like we have to go back and hold space in, I'm going to stop pulling these because they just keep coming out. Major space in kind of the 3D-ish world, even though, as I keep saying, it feels a lot more 5D now, regardless. And to see for us how things have shifted out there. So it's been kind of refreshing, actually, and nice to kind of get a change of pace for a little bit. I was going so full force with readings and spiritual work, and it's all wonderful and I love it. But once in a while it's nice to kind of split things up and see what's going on out in the other part of the world other than just the spiritual world. So it's been nice. I'm around a wonderful group of people and I'm near the beach, so I really am very, very grateful for some changes for the moment. I do think it's all very temporary for a lot of us. So I'm making a point to just enjoy the changes and go with the flow, as I keep saying in all of the readings. So important to just go with what Spirit wants us to do, because our soul paths are already planned out before we come down here. And yeah, it's, I keep being reminded to just enjoy the process. While we're here to help on the planet and to hold that light and that space. Speaking of light, for the Son of Wands or the Knight of Wands here, I just see this huge bright light coming out, even in the Son of Cups, this huge light coming from the cup. So it's like, be the light for the people around us, and as much as we can, be in joy, and the world absolutely needs that right now. We got Chariot in reverse for, I think, the last reading. I've been switching tarot decks the whole time, so let's get on with the cards here. Okay. I can never wait until the end to turn all these over. Oh, wow. So these are the extra cards even. There's a lot of sadness. This is Five of Cups, and this is having watched someone walk away. I keep hearing that, and it really resonates, that the Divine Masculines are not able to even connect with the people around them, especially their karmics. There's a lot of splitting A lot of releasing themselves from things that no longer serve them. And this being the Devil card, that's no exception for them. And with the Father of Cups in reverse, this is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but can be any sign represented by their emotional selves. And then when this goes into reverse, interestingly, with the Devil card, it's, vices, addictions, being tied to people, places, and things that are not good for us, or for, in this case, for them as well. There could be some things coming up for the feminines that are being released, but a lot of us have gone through these processes. So when I see the Father of Cups under this, I'm like, yeah, they're in emotional upside down land. I don't want to say turmoil, but it feels like it to them. They're also in this chrysalis phase where they're being, we've gone through, how many times have I said to myself, to clients, it feels like before the divine feminines were in the crucible energy, being melted down to nothing, to just liquid, so to speak, which is what happens in the chrysalis stage for the butterflies before they are transformed into their butterfly stage. And that's definitely, with these cards coming out, what's going on. Interesting, I think in another reading or two, the Empress in reverse, there was another divine feminine card here in reverse in the same position, where we're just not having it. We are coming up on eclipse time. We're kind of in that corridor anyway, so things are going to be, it's like these bursts of light here. Things are going to be revealed big time. So this looking like an eclipse to me, the Empress card, being for the divine feminines, there's going to be a lot of big reveals coming up this month and going into next month. So hang on to your hats, keep your ears open, because we're about to get a whole bunch of, I think, information according to what I'm seeing here. The High Priestess is also here in reverse. Major divine feminine energy, major intuition. Listen to your intuition, follow your instincts, listen to the information that's coming in through your intuition, because as I've learned with this journey, things on the surface, especially with twin flames, are never what they seem. It's usually that full opposite. So listen with your intuition, watch, observe, from the observer and the detachment point of view. Detachment is always key. I'm probably going to say that in every reading this month. The more you can stay out of, if you're in that space where you've gone through a lot of your major transformation, and you can get to that place of just observing, that's going to serve you well at any point in this stage, but especially like this month, when all of the information is going to come up and out. It's exciting. It feels very exciting. There's a lot of, this is Eight of Swords, so freeing, masculine freeing themselves. Again, this theme of freeing themselves from, in this case, thoughts, old patterns. I just keep seeing if they've gone through abusive situations in childhood, things that were taught to them in childhood that were not good for them, any of that kind of thing, because this is old thought patterns that we can get stuck in, and now it's in reverse. So they're going to be freeing themselves. They have to. It's time from a lot of this junk in their lives, for lack of a better term, that's really not serving them. Interesting. There's so much coming through. We do have the Father of Pentacles over here, and even though this is a masculine card, it feels very much for the feminine. It's almost like we're stepping into, and twin flames flip-flop. Any relationship can flip-flop with who's holding the masculine and who's holding the feminine energies. But when I look at this under the Five of Cups, it's like we're holding space for the sadness. And I know starting a couple of months, it was probably just over a month ago, really, A lot of us, myself included, got hit or like smacked like really hard with their sadness, with their turmoil, with their emotional stuff they're going through, to where I was down for the count for a couple of days. And I know that a lot of the feminines have been going through that hardcore. So here we are still, even though it's like we're feeling all of this, we're still holding solid space. I don't know about you all, but I was able to differentiate between, I know I've already been here, done this before. This is not coming from me. This was coming from my masculine. And again, I'll say in this reading, had to, again, ask my guides and angels to help me separate what's his, what's mine. I still had to process with him and hold space energetically with him. It was part of the process this time around again, at this stage in the journey. But we're able to, if we stay in that observer mode, know, okay, this isn't my stuff. This is coming from him. So here's the judgment card to kind of reiterate that. Judgment card is things coming back around, second chances. Sorry. Major allergies going on. And lots of talking recently. Anyway, judgment card. So again, it's like when I look at this in reverse, it's almost like the rays are going up and their old thoughts, their old patterns are being released up and out. These things in their life are coming back around. Their energies are coming back around to us. There's renewed communication for a lot of us. I just see this huge burst of light. Again, all these bursts of light plowing through their lives and by proxy, our energy. So it is a time of major transformation with that 222 portal being in a 222 year. I've said in my daily readings, or my ones that I do intermittently now, I was waiting to see, starting last year, what's going to happen with this 222 energy. And sure enough, right around that day, I heard from my twin, and a lot of other people did too. So things are really blasting through. I just see this huge burst of light. And funny enough, I was just listening to Lee Harris, part of his energy report, monthly energy report this morning when I was waking up. And he said that April is going to be the biggest blast of light energy, or however he put it, so far this year. So I'm saying hold on to your hats, because I just keep seeing this theme even in the cards here. So yeah, it's major transformation time. And again, it's not comfortable a lot of the time. It's not easy, but I'm excited to see what happens for a lot of us out there. Chariot card in reverse, that did come out in another reading. To me, this has always been a very masculine force. And to me, this month, it's the divine masculines wanting to charge ahead, run away, get away from this, like a lot of us did from the beginning of our connections and journeys. I'll say for people who identify just as light workers, for your awakening, it's like you know, none of us really wanted to go through the tough stuff. Who does? But the divine masculines are getting smacked with it right now. Really, really hard. And it's like the universe is like putting a weight on them, sitting on them, so that they go through it and they feel everything with this transformation. There's no getting out of it. There's no escaping it. There's no running away from any of this for them right now, because the planet is going through its major transformation, and it's time. We came to be of service, and there was a moment where we had our switch flipped and woke up. For a lot of them in this wave of twins, I keep saying there is no hard and fast rule, but for those of us that met back in 2016, 17, 18, whenever around that time, sorry, I just moved my camera again, and it keeps sliding. Hopefully that's okay. Where it is. But, you know, this second wave, as one of the other readers calls us, are all getting our blast about the same time right now. And even those that are coming up that met after we met our twins, they're still getting hit with a lot right now as well. So it's really time for a lot of the masculines to come into their own and to deal with all of this tough inner stuff and face it. And if there happen to be any masculines watching, I know for the Aries video, someone chimed in whether they identify as divine masculine or not. I'd love to hear from either side what anyone has been dealing with, facing this year. I've done hundreds of twin flame readings and thousands of other readings for people over the last many years, and I've slowed down with that for the last few months in this year anyway. And I'm still talking to regular clients, but I want to get a consensus as to put my finger on the pulse of what's going on with any of you that feel like sharing. But as we can see here, yeah, it's go time for this wave of masculines that's getting hit hard. So, you know, my heart goes out to mine and to anyone who is going through that right now, and I hold unconditional love and hold space for them, for mine, I should say, and for anyone else that I don't know, is watching or going through this. But yeah, this is their time, and I say I'm excited because no, it's not fun to go through, but we've gone through it already, as a lot of the feminines know. So it's like, okay, come on, let's get the show on the road and let's see what happens with the shakedown from all of this happening. And it is still my opinion that a lot of twin flames are going to be coming together this year and maybe into the beginning of next year from this wave of twins. But I don't guarantee anything, and anything can change at any time because twin flames are on our own individual timelines. We go where we're needed. Our timelines can switch up and change as to who needs what on the planet around us, or as the collective needs us holding space and different energies. So any twin flame reader that I know of that's legit will tell you cannot have an exact timeline for twin flames. One, because we're not supposed to know, and we're supposed to go on trust and faith and learn to work very, very closely with our guides and angels so we can teach other people how to do that. And two, again, because in my experience, the timelines can really fluctuate, and this kind of transformation has never happened on the planet before. So it's very uncharted territory for any of us here right now. And legitimately, we did just come to be of service, and that's something that's helped me to step back and stay in observer mode and not get caught up in what my masculine is up to in the physical, because he's busy holding space for the people around him and for the collective that's been in 3D. Again, I feel like they're being lifted out of a lot of that right now. A lot of the masculines, not most, but it just feels like it's time more than any time before this on the planet where it's time for them to come up into the higher energies, into the more 5D energies, and to have the veil lifted as to what the connection is, so that we can, you know, start doing our jobs or missions together, or whatever you want to call it, or just being together. And again, there's no attachment. When I say that, I'm just observing and putting in my 2 cents of what I've seen over the years, what I can feel right now, and kind of what the energies have been feeling like to me. And again, it can change in any direction at any time, but that's, you know, I still feel like there are several of us many of us that are supposed to be coming together, I would say this year, but we'll see what happens as this year progresses, because I've been through enough curveballs on this path to know I don't hang my hat on anything, and I'll believe it all when I see it, as I often tell my guides. So, okay. So where are we with time? I really didn't talk about other than the bursts of light here. So the Divine Masculine, I was going to say earlier, it's interesting that we're coming out as the Empress and the High Priestess, which are major arcana cards. And right now the Masculine is coming out as the Son of Wands and the Son of Cups, kind of in their maybe they're going through, I went through this starting about 12 years ago, where I felt like I was stuck. Once I started my healing work, I was stuck in like my childhood self and my teenage self at that point. And then I went through rapid fire up leveling to where I feel I'm catching up with emotionally with my age versus my age in 3D. So I feel like that's it's like they're rehashing their adolescent stuff if they were stuck emotionally in childhood before and they've been working on themselves. I feel like they're kind of in this teenage-ish phase and they're being pushed through pretty quickly their emotional stuff. It's not that they're not, I mean, their souls know. We're all very old souls on this path, but we came down to heal family karma, like step into certain families if we needed to, and seal off those karmic lineages, stop abuse patterns from happening, stop cycles of whatever kind from happening. Again, addictions keep coming up here. So they're just working through it. Again, that's why I'm always like, be so patient, because you never know what the other side is going through. And even one of the masculines I've seen, I followed Rob and Angie from Twinfinity on YouTube from the beginning of their story back in, I think, 2017, when I was going through my super dark night of the soul. And highly recommend watching their storyline video. She's put it in a playlist. But Rob had what he calls a pretty normal childhood. And even with that, he was hit very hard at certain points with his emotional stuff that he had to process through. Very, very hard, to where it scared him. And I haven't seen one masculine who's gone through this journey who hasn't been terrified of having to face whatever emotional stuff is coming up for them, and that hasn't been seriously affected in their day-to-day lives in some way. Be it having to take time off from a job or getting counseling help or whatever it is. But that's why I'm, the feminines that are always on the message boards blaming their twins or getting mad at them, it's like, no, this literally is the other half of you. And my guides worked with me so closely years ago when this all started. They would let me have a couple moments here and there, just a couple of just sheer rage of releasing emotions that have been trapped in me since childhood or past lives or whatever. And then they would bring me right back to center in a way that I couldn't have done on my own. It was like someone shifted gears for me in my body, kind of like if any of you have guardian angel stories, this has happened more than once to me in a car with my being out in the ethers. I have to really watch to stay grounded. But I was driving one night after a massage, and I was coming up on an overpass to a huge line of cars at like rush hour time, and I was not in my body and I wasn't paying attention, and my foot, I was like looking off to the left, my foot moved from the gas pedal to the brake, and I turned my head to look at what was coming, and my car was stopping just before I hit this line of cars on the overpass, mind you, on a busy freeway. So our guardian angels are very closely guiding us through our whole lives, and the extra point of that story was emotionally, when I was going through my dark night and I had one of those rage moments and I was like, he's not my twin flame, and I was screaming in my bathroom getting ready for work one day, and I was so upset. They let me vent, and then literally they shifted gears emotionally for me and put me back to center, and they're like, that's all you get, you need, like, stop that now, refocus, and send love, stop with that. So from the beginning, I have not been allowed to stay in those lanes with thinking about my twin. They've worked very, very, very closely with me, and I'll say again, in this reading, I would not have been able to hold space for him, to stay in connection with him, communication with him, as long as I did, and be back in communication with him again, unless I was able to hold space. Am I perfect with it? No. But we don't have to be. It's just keep bringing yourself back to center. And I would not have been able to do the readings that I've done over the years if I didn't stay in the positive about this connection. And is it always easy? No, but just speaking from experience with all of this transformation they're going through, the more you can have compassion and know that it may not look like the spiritual journey that we've had. It's going to look different for them because they've been holding space in 3D. Their journey is going to look very different. The more you can just be patient and send unconditional love and breathe with them. When you feel a strong emotion coming on out of nowhere, it could be them. So breathing, sending them the green heart chakra energy, healing energy. There's lots of twin flame meditations online for that. It's wonderful to do. When you're called to do it, it's not something I recommend sitting there and doing all the time, because we still have to go and live our lives and do what we're supposed to do. But in moments where you feel them going through this, it's perfectly okay to send them love and good energy. The more we can stay in that energy, the easier it is for them to come back and talk to us. If we're freaking out, if we're mad at them, they feel that. They're us, they feel it. So, yes, they're going through just as much as we've gone through. The twins always have very parallel paths, whether it looks like it or not. Some do, and some look opposite, but we all came here to mirror each other's paths and go through this transformation next to each other energetically to, in my opinion, get to union or whatever is supposed to happen in this life or in the afterlife, because we're going to be together with them at that point anyway. And like I said, every twin pair is different and here to experience something different. But yeah, it's like regardless, toe the line, hold the line, and hold space for them as much as we can. And it's looking like the Geminis, especially, are feeling, a lot of divine feminines are feeling like this. There was a strength card in reverse in the last reading, I think. So we're exhausted, and again, it's like we're not going to physically carry their stuff for them anymore. We have to take care of ourselves. We know that a lot of us are ready to just cut out these old patterns and cut out old thought patterns about this and be done with it. But that's kind of the perfect place to be, because we're not going to condone. It's like the boundaries are being set, which needed to be set for union to even be possible, because you have to tell the universe, and in conjunction your twin flame, what you will and won't accept in your life before they can start seeing you the way that they need to for union to even come into the picture. So I I think I'm going to stop lecturing, but so it's starting to feel like, but I hope that this helps, because these are all the nuggets of wisdom that I have used to hold space for my twin over the years. And no matter what's been said between us, he felt safe enough to contact me again this year around that 222 portal. And it's always, in my experience and my opinion, better to be able to communicate with them and see where they're at, and to really, he wanted to just kind of keep things superficial with me at first and just say, hey, everything's great, da 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 da. And I was like, that's BS. I don't even want to talk to him if he's going to talk like that. And then he came back and said, this is what's really going on. And he explained what he's experiencing, which is very similar to this kind of thing. And then I was able to hold space for him to say that and remind him of what he told me years ago he really wants to do with his life. So it's a beautiful thing when you can just be in communication and be in the observer mode and be there to just support as much as you have energy to give, not overextending yourself. But then you can kind of see and feel, okay, yeah, these things that were coming through from all that emotion we got hit with, that was actually him. Like, then you can kind of decipher what's yours and what's theirs even easier, which I've always been very grateful in the times we've communicated to have. So, and the other part of this whole thing is really, I'll leave you with this, really owning who we are as the high priestess, as the empress, as the divine feminine, that we are on a different path than a lot of people on the planet, because we know the spiritual transformation and inward journeys we've gone on that are so different from most people around us, that you try and explain this to them and it's like you're speaking German for someone who doesn't speak German, or talking calculus to someone who's never taken calculus. It just doesn't make sense to them. And so instead of feeling like you're crazy, being in a community of people who've gone through these kinds of transformations, finding other people to reach out to and communicate with, it, having that support system as much as we're allowed. I know I wasn't even allowed to much at all in the beginning. We have to go through a lot of the dark night on our own, which is, my heart goes out to them right now, which is what I think a lot of the masculines are going through right now, where they're not allowed to have that kind of support. So it's even more important, if you feel called to energetically hold space for them, and not throw any judgment or anything like that their way when they're going through this, because as I was going to say in the beginning, this is the fiery transformation portion of it, and this is the emotional transformation of it. So they're really going through the tumultuous part of this transformation to bring out their light in a huge, huge way. So I'm excited to see again what that's going to bring, because I know how it transformed me in my life and so many other twins I've worked with over the years. And now it's their turn, and what have we wished for many years? And not to say it like, are they going to be with us? Is he going to be, am I going to be with me? I'm not even going there. I just want to see what the transformation brings about in their lives. And that's all. I think that's all I personally would focus on at the moment, just to stay in that detachment energy and then see what comes for them once they go through all of this. So I'm going to stop talking because I'm over a half an hour on this video again. But I hope that this helped whoever is watching, and please give a thumbs up if it's resonating. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Again, I'd love to make this a community safe space for people to chime in if you feel safe here, and if you want personal readings. I think I've already started putting my info in the description boxes. So I will be here for that as well. And I wish you all a beautiful April, and I will see you all in the videos throughout the month and then the monthlies for May. Have a good one.